What an extraordinary day it has already been in British politics. As King Charles and Queen Camilla carried out the grand traditions of the state opening of Parliament, the ceremony itself was being overshadowed by dramatic developments unfolding behind the scenes in Westminster. All eyes have now turned toward Health Secretary Wes Streeting after multiple reports from major political journalists and news organizations claimed he is preparing to resign and potentially launch a leadership challenge against Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The timing could hardly be more explosive. While the King and Queen greeted senior political figures inside the Palace of Westminster, Labour MPs, ministers, and political insiders were instead consumed by questions about whether the government is now approaching full-scale collapse. According to reports emerging this afternoon, Streeting's allies believe the Health Secretary may make his move as early as tomorrow. Political observers say the atmosphere inside Westminster has shifted dramatically over the past 24 hours. Almost 100 Labour MPs are now understood to have publicly called for the Prime Minister to step aside. 10 ministerial resignations have already rocked the government, and senior party figures are openly discussing possible successors. Many analysts believe the Prime Minister scheduled today's King's Speech partly to stabilize his leadership following disastrous local election results and growing internal rebellion. Instead, the crisis appears to have intensified. Questions are now being raised over whether the government risked dragging the monarchy into a moment of political instability by proceeding with such a major constitutional event, while leadership tensions continue to explode behind closed doors. Earlier this morning, Wes Streeting arrived at Downing Street for a highly anticipated meeting with the Prime Minister. The meeting lasted less than 20 minutes. Witnesses described Streeting as determined and focused as he entered and exited number 10, refusing to answer shouted questions from journalists waiting outside. Political insiders say the short nature of the meeting suggests it was unlikely to have been a reconciliation attempt. Meanwhile, Westminster remains consumed by speculation over what could happen next. Tomorrow, new NHS waiting list figures are expected to be released, and some commentators believe Streeting may use those statistics to highlight his own achievements as Health Secretary before potentially launching a leadership campaign. Adding further intrigue, Streeting has now broken his public silence with a statement on social media highlighting falling NHS waiting lists, improved ambulance response times, and rising patient satisfaction under his leadership. Many in Westminster see the timing of those remarks as highly significant. Political commentators believe Streeting is attempting to position himself not as the architect of Labour's current crisis, but as the figure capable of restoring order and competence to government. Supporters of the Health Secretary argue that the instability inside Labour was triggered not by Streeting himself, but by the Prime Minister's poor election results, growing internal divisions, and mounting dissatisfaction across the party. Others close to Downing Street, however, reportedly believe Streeting has been quietly positioning himself for a leadership bid for months. For now, no formal challenge has been launched. But after today's extraordinary developments, Westminster is preparing for what could become one of the most dramatic political battles Britain has seen in years. Stay with UK Pulse today for continuing breaking news, live Westminster updates, and full political analysis throughout the day.